Yo, RX back with another breakdown of UFC Saudi Arabia, Whittaker vs. Aliskerov. We back with another breakdown, and we are heading very far away from the apex, all the way over to Saudi Arabia for a first time ever. I believe it's the first time UFC's ever been in Saudi Arabia. Obviously, we know they'd go to Abu Dhabi a lot, but this time they are going to Saudi Arabia. So, yeah, that should be fucking interesting. This gonna be interesting to see how the crowd is, because like Saudi Arabia is definitely more WWE's territory. They go there a lot. They were just there not that long ago, and the crowds are usually pretty decent. So I'm intrigued to see how the UFC, what reaction UFC gets, especially if the fights are either good or bad. If they're bad, we'll see. But if they're good, well, I'm very intrigued at the same time. So, yeah, this should be a very intriguing card. It's not a bad card. A very short card for how big it is. Only 11 fights. But when you have as many cancellations as this card has had, a very cursed card, what can you really do? So, 11 fight card. I don't love 11 fight card. I think the bare minimum, I like 12 to 13. I think the bare minimum for a card should have, but when you UFC can't control that completely. So, but enough rambling. Yeah, first time in Saudi Arabia, a week before International Fight Week. We all know what this main event was meant to be. I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, this should be a fun card, and guess we'll see what happens. A lot of big fights for a fight night to have as many like big names and fights on it. This is interesting. Like, there's 2 fights on this card that could easily be fucking fight night main events in the Apex or some shit. So it's nice to see. Yeah, I'm happy the UFC is doing more arena cards, and yeah, I say that as I know they just booked like 4 more Apex cards, so they're fucking liars. But I would be lying if I was shocked. Dana White lied. Huh? I'm shocked. Whatever. Enough rambling. Let's get into this fucking breakdown of this pretty decent card. So, before I do, last things I gotta say are please like, comment, subscribe. 100 subs goal by the end of 2024. I think we're at 49? I believe? 48, 49? Can we hit 50? Before International Fight Week? Or during International Fight Week? Either way. They would be cool. I'd highly appreciate it. I appreciate every fucking one of you who watch, likes, subscribe, all that shit. So, I think we can hit 50, because that'd be fucking something I would never expect to happen. But enough about my pipe dreams. Let's get into the breakdown. So, nothing else to say. Want to break down some fights? Let's do it. 11 fights. Yeah, like I said, I'll talk about the cancellations real quick. We've lost a lot. Shara has had 2 fucking fight changes. Yeah, Naimov had 1. We lost Monto Jackson and Farid Basharat. Fuck, we lost Monto Jackson in total. We lost Cedricus Dumas, thank God. And then the big one that we all know about, Robert and Chimiev. Yeah, Hamzat's a weak bitch. Like, I don't feel bad for him. He's soft. If he can't fucking make it to a fight, maybe retire again. So, and Rob would have won anyway. So, whatever. Fuck Hamzat. So, all I gotta say. So let's get into the card. 11 in total. Let's begin with the first one. And actually, the first one I'm not gonna talk about a lot because I have fuck all idea what to fucking say. In our first fight of the night, we head to bantamweight for a tournament finale between Xiao versus Chang Ho Lee. If you've never seen these 2 in your life, I don't blame you. These 2, this is a finale for the Road to UFC they did last year. I believe, yeah, last year. It was season 3 or some shit. Because I think they just did season 4, the round 1 of season 4. So, yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I did not watch last season of Road to UFC. The one that just happened about a month ago is the first time I've watched it, and it was very good. Definitely something I would say watch next time it's on or some shit. Even go watch the one that just happened the other week ago. But I did not watch this one. What was it, season 3, I believe? Does it say? No, it doesn't say what season it was, but it's like the second or third, maybe so. But again, I did not watch it, so I know nothing about these two. I've never seen these two a day in my life, and I'm not really gonna give a breakdown here because I would just lie. I don't know who I'm gonna pick. Well, I'll make a prediction when I put in my picks, but I highly doubt anyone cares about this fight anyway. So, if you want a better breakdown, just go watch someone else. So, sorry if you wanted a good breakdown of this, you weren't getting it from me. Because I don't do tape study, and I didn't watch this fucking season of Road to UFC, so my bad. I'm gonna put in a complete guess of a pick when I do them, so my bad. But now for our first real fight of the night in the light heavyweight division, we have a pretty fun fight here to really start the night, as we have, I'm gonna fuck this name up, MG Magomed Gadzhiyasulov, I think I actually said it right, versus Brendson the Gorilla Ribeiro. Pretty fun fight in the light heavyweight division. It is nice to see the heavier weight classes on display here, unlike last week where the heaviest weight class we had was welterweight. This week we have, I don't think we actually got any small dudes. Like the smallest weight class we go to is like bantamweight, and that's the fucking fight no one cares about. So yeah, this card's definitely more of the bigger fighters, which I'm not gonna complain about. After last week, I think all cards need a good mix. You need at least maybe one or two like heavyweight, light heavyweight fights. Then you can have a bunch of fucking small dudes if you want. But I'm happy we're getting some big guys on this card. Let's start with the first one, Magomed Gadzhiyasulov. Magomed is making his debut here, coming off the Contender Series where he looked pretty good. Beat the shit out of Jose Medina. Not his best work, like he did fight a complete can, so he kind of just styled on him. Medina, kind of a fucking joke, to be honest. Somehow Medina got a contract off getting his ass beat, so whatever fucking logic that makes. But yeah, Magomed's pretty decent. Like I was not super impressed from a Contender Series, but I think he was decent. Like, my god, dude, what the fuck are you doing to your fucking ankle right here? He's one of those guys from last year's Contender Series where I'm not super high on, where I'm saying, yeah, I think he could be very good, and I'm not low on him where I think he sucks. He's in that mid-tier. I still have yet to put really a fucking vote in my mind on what I think of him. I think he's alright. I need to see a little more, and in this debut fight against another Contender Series alum in Ribeiro, I think we're going to see a lot from Magomed. He's really good on the feet. His striking's very good. He has 4 KOs for a reason. His ground game's okay. Decent ground game. His cardio is very weak. He did gas versus Medina. Medina did kind of do a little bit of good work in the late round, if I remember. But yeah, I think Magomed's a decent fighter. 8-0, very inexperienced. So still very young into his career, but maybe this dude's good. We're gonna find the fuck out. KHK MMA. I've never heard. Does he train with anyone notable? Because I've never. Oh, this is their gym. This is Islam's gym. I've never fucking heard of this gym. So he trains with Shamil, Ikram, Islam, Muhammad, Mukayev. Okay. That actually makes that's interesting. So that kind of puts a more interesting spin on him, that he trains with very high-level guys. So yeah, Magomed, very interesting prospect in the light heavyweight division, getting to make his first fight here. We'll see how he does. I think he's a very decent, well-rounded fighter. Outside of that gas tank, I think he's good. I think he could be good. I still not sold on him yet. He's mid-tier. Let's see what he can do. To talk about his opponent, Brendson Ribeiro. Brendson in the UFC is 0-1, coming off Contender Series where he got a knockout as a big underdog versus Bruno Lopez, where he was plus 380, knocked him out cold. Yeah, amazing Contender Series fight. Of course, earned a contract, and then in his first UFC fight, he also fought a debuting Mingjang Zhang, and he got knocked the fuck out in under 2 minutes. Which, you really can't get mad at that. Zhang dude looked very fucking good. I think that kid could be a pretty decent problem for the light heavyweight division. And Ribeiro just got clipped, put out. Simple as that. Second fight in probably a step down competition. We'll see how he looks here. Brazilian TKO. Never heard of that gym in my fucking life. I don't know how good Ribeiro is. I'm not completely sold on him. Yeah, he beat that Lopez dude, but how good is that Lopez dude? Yeah, he loses to Chang, who I think is pretty decent. So he's in a weird spot. 27 years old, coming off a KO loss in under 2 minutes. He has a lot to prove here. Trying to take the O from Magomed. We'll see. Ribeiro hits pretty hard. That's why he has 9 KOs. His ground game's decent. Never won a fight that went to decision. Only went there one time. He's interesting. I think he's interesting. Definitely not getting easy fights in the UFC. From Chang to fucking Magomed, they're not giving him easy fights. So we'll see how he does here. Still a young dude into his career. He's definitely the veteran in this fight. Experience-wise, 15-6, a lot more fights than 8-0. So he definitely has the experience factor on Magomed, even though he is 3 years younger. So a lot to take in. It's pretty much a prospect versus prospect fight. So we're gonna really see who is the better fighter here. I think prospect versus prospect, especially when it's these lower, I don't want to say low dude, but these guys who don't have the hype yet. Like, this ain't the level of Talbot Simon, like for a prospect fight, for example. This is two guys who are trying to make a name for themselves, one coming off a loss, one making their debut. We'll see which guy gets out on the right foot in their UFC career. A loss here for Ribeiro would be very fucking hard for him to bounce back from, and Magomed losing his O would be pretty hard for him as well. So it's gonna be an interesting fight. It's gonna be a very interesting fight. I'm intrigued. I don't think this is gonna go to 15 minutes. That's the one thing I can almost guarantee. So yeah. The betting odds for this fight have Magomed Gadzhiyasulov at -470, 2 + 360. I don't hate those odds, but I don't know if I love them. I'd probably move Magomed down maybe -300. What's the height on them? 6'2". So, okay, so Ribeiro got the height by an inch and the reach by a good amount. Yeah, I'd say Magomed should be maybe -300. I don't really love the -470 tag on him. Especially against a guy like Ribeiro who hits very hard. Like Magomed coming off a very fine contender series fight against Medina. Good and bad in that fight. 8-0, inexperienced. Gonna be interesting. This is a very intriguing fight. Again, it really could come down to whoever gets knocked out first, because both guys. Ribeiro hits like a truck, and he's coming off a bad KO. Not even that long ago, been KO'd 3 times. When was that? 4 months ago. A bad KO like that to only fight 4 months later. And Magomed has, I don't think he's ever been like even dropped in his career. I doubt it, because he's never really fought anyone good. So I'm intrigued. This is where we're gonna test these two and see how good they are. So. Yeah, who am I going with? I'm gonna go Gadzhiyasulov. I think he will be able to win this fight. I think the main question is how. He's only won once by submission, 3 times by decision, and he's never got a finish outside the first round. That's intriguing. He's never got a finish outside the first round. How many times have Ribeiro been finished? 3 times by KO in the first round, once, and okay. Okay, so neither of these. If this fight goes deep, like let's say into round 2 and 3, we're really gonna see whose gas tank is better. Because Gadzhiyasulov has. It's probably Gadzhiyasulov. He's won 3 decisions. Ribeiro has really never won outside of after he leaves round 1. Like he's only won how many times? 5 times outside of round 1. He's lost. So most of these guys ain't really that experienced in going deep into fights, so we'll see who is better going deep into fights if it gets that far. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting fight. I'm gonna go Gadzhiyasulov by I know I just said this fight ain't gonna go 15 minutes, but with how Gadzhiyasulov fights, it might. I'm go Magomed by knockout in the second is what I'm feeling right now. I think maybe he'll get some takedowns early in the fight. Again, a guy who trains for Islam and Mukayev and all that shit, I'm guessing, trains with them, at least goes to the same gym as them. So he probably will, I could see him tiring out Ribeiro early and then getting the kill shot, or even getting a submission. So I'm gonna go Magomed Gadzhiyasulov by knockout in the second. Might change that prediction finish-wise, not fighter-wise. I do think Magomed will win. I could see a decision. I would not be shocked at maybe a pretty boring 29, 28, 30, 27. But I think Magomed is going to try and get that kill. And again, Ribeiro coming off a knockout 4 months ago. Don't love that. And he's been KO'd 3 times in his career. So it's interesting. And I'm not even trying to count out Ribeiro. Again, he could land that kill shot. We've never really seen. I'm guessing Magomed's never really been tested like that. So gonna be interesting. Give me Gadzhiyasulov by knockout in a second, though. I think he's gonna come in here and make a really good debut statement. So Gadzhiyasulov by knockout in a second. My first real prediction of the night, because I didn't even make one for the first fight. So yeah. Now time for our third fight of the night as we head back to bantamweight for our first real fight at bantamweight. No offense to fucking Xiao and Lee, but again, not really much to say about that fight. This fight, I do got something to say, even if it's not a very good fight, as we have Muin Tajik Gafurov versus Mr. Perfect Kung Ho Kang. Yeah, this fight ain't very good. Two very not great fighters trying to get a win. One guy trying to get his first win in the UFC. One guy, 36 years old, trying to still go at it against still trying to make a name for himself at bantamweight. Not a great fight. Not a fight I'm looking forward to. Ooh, okay, Tapology. Did not expect that. Those predictions. But yeah, not a very great fight. But let's see what happens. Let's start with Muin Gafurov. Muin in the UFC is 0-2. In his UFC debut, he stepped in on short notice and fought John Castaneda and lost. And then in his second fight last year on pay-per-view, he got subbed by Said Magomedov in about 2 minutes. Actually, not even 90 seconds. So yeah, he's not been doing very good in the UFC. But can you really get mad at him when he's fighting Castaneda and then Said Magomedov? How do you get a step up in competition after losing your debut? Yeah, I don't think Muin's very good. His gas tank kind of sucks. His striking is not strong. His ground game's decent. His wrestling's decent, but with a shitty gas tank, it's not great. And plus, he did lose on Contender Series a couple years back to Chad and Hellinger. Ew. He lost to John Lineker in one, which is not a bad loss. He's gonna fight Mansour Evlaev, which is interesting. In the UFC. What the fuck did you do, Muin? But yeah, Gafurov, not a very good fighter. This is his first fucking real UFC fight to an extent, because you fought Castaneda on short notice, which that's never gonna be easy, and then you fought Said Nurmagomedov. Come on, UFC kind of fucking threw him to the wolves. But at least he is getting a step down competition here. Kung Ho Kang is not even close to those two, so not a bad matchup for Muin. This is the first fight for Muin in the UFC where he can actually show how good he can be. I don't think he's very good in general. Again, Chad and Hellinger, But this is definitely his first chance he can actually win a fight in the UFC. So we'll see what he can do here. Step down competition. See what he can do, man. See what he can do. To talk about his opponent, Kung Ho Kang, a veteran of the game, 36 years old. He is 8-4-1 in UFC, the first veteran on the card. To go over some of his wins, not even gonna fucking try that name. His most notable wins: Guido Canetti, Brandon Davis, Pinyan Liu, Donna Bagarel, and Christian Quinones. His losses are Chico Camus, Ricardo Ramos, Ronnie Yaya, and John Castaneda, and then in his debut, he had a no contest with Alex Caceres. Was it Why did he have a no contest with Alex Caceres? It doesn't say. What happened? What the fuck happened for this to be a no contest? Whatever. Kang is not very good. Gas tank ain't strong. Striking ain't very strong. His cardio's alright. I mean, his ground game's alright. Not his cardio. His cardio sucks. But his ground game's okay. Even though, I was gonna say he got beat by Ronnie Yaya on the ground, but that's not the problem with that fight. The problem is he got gassed so badly against Ronnie Yaya that I was like, really, dude? What the fuck? He's old. Like, he's 36 years old at bantamweight. That's already a really bad sign. And his skill set is as limited as it is. Like if you look at all his wins, especially his early wins, like, he's beaten nobody. Like, Guido Canetti is it. And then, like, his last 2 wins are against actually pretty decent are against fine fighters. Dana Bagaro, who he just took to fucking school. He beat the shit out of Dana. And then Christian Quinones, a very hyped up prospect at the time, smacked him around in 2.5 minutes. He can look pretty good, but it definitely depends on the stylistic matchup he's having. If he's fighting someone actually good, or someone who can be better at what he's good at, which is pretty much the ground game, he's gonna lose. Like, the reason he lost to Castaneda's actually good. Why did he lose to Ronnie Yaya? Because Ronnie Yaya is better than him at ground game. So Kang has never really impressed me. Like, he's really good on the ground, and that's it. Like, that's why he has 4 submission wins and 4 decisions. Never got a TKO. I doubt he's even got a knockdown. He's just not good, and at 36 years old, getting older, like, he is finally starting to fight consistently, because he wasn't a very inconsistent fighter for a minute. Like, he fought 3 times in 2019, which, that's impressive, went on a nice 3-fight winning streak. Then didn't fight again until 2021, pandemic, I get it. Then 2022, then 2023, he fought twice. So he is starting to get back on a decent rhythm of fighting, which is good. But at 36 years old, you kind of have to be on a nice rhythm. You can't just sit back and relax. So, yeah, Kang ain't very good. Very beatable. Very beatable at this point in his career. Dangerous, still on the ground, but if you're better than him on the ground, or you can keep it standing, you should win pretty easily. So, yeah. The betting odds for today have Muin Gafurov minus 125 to plus 105. Yeah, I would like. I feel like I like Gafurov more as a favorite than I do a pick'em. I think Gafurov minus 125 ain't terrible. They both suck as fighters, but I do think Muin is the better fighter, and I think Muin whatever should win this fight. I think he's better. I think he's on the feet. He's probably better in the ground game. He's decent, and I think this fight really comes down to who gasses first, because these guys both have terrible gas tanks. I think Gafurov is better striker. I think Kang is better on the ground when it comes to dangerousness. But Gafurov, I don't know. It's a very low level fight, which for a bantamweight division, that's really rare to see. So actually, I might say this should be a pick'em. Don't bet on this fight, obviously. You're a fucking idiot if you bet on this fight. But I think I'm going to go Muin Gafurov. I think he's better. I think he can tire out Kang and ride his way to a win. It's probably going to be a boring fight, not even going to lie. Probably going to be boring. But Gafurov should be able to get his first UFC win here. I think he will be able to keep it in his fight. He's probably controlling the fight. If he can gas Kang as bad as Ronnie Yaya did, he might even get a finish. And we'll see what happens here. Again, Kang could throw up a submission and get Muin like Said Magomedov did, but I'm going to say Muin Gafurov probably dominate, at least survives round 1, and then is able to be the more fresh fighter in the later 2 rounds. But give me Muin Gafurov by decision. Not going to be a good fight, I can almost guarantee it. I doubt we get a finish. If we do, it's either a TKO or a submission. And I'm not really looking forward to this fight, but whatever. Give me Muin Gafurov by decision. Not the most confident that I could be, but it's 2 bad fighters. What do you really expect? So, Gafurov by decision. Now for our 4th fight of the night, we have a banger, a fight that should not be on the prelims, because this is one of the best fights on the card. as we head into a banger in the welterweight division, a complete opposite of Gafurov and Kang, because these two are really good. As we have in our fourth fight, Rinat, Gladiator, Fakhretdinov versus Nicolas, Danish Dynamite Dalby. Very good fight here. I cannot wait for this fight. A certified fucking banger. And yeah, this should be on the main card. Like, when we're talking about fights at 170 on this card, this is 10 times the fight Gastelum and D-Rod is. So the fact that this is on the prelims is criminal. But it's UFC, I don't expect much. So, but yeah, this fight's amazing. And let's get into it. We'll begin with the prospect Rinat Fakhretdinov. Rinat in UFC is 3-0-1. His 3 wins have been Andreas Michailidis, Brian Battle, and Kevin Lee. And he had a draw in his last fight with Ilizu Zaleski. In his first 3 UFC fights, Rinat was just a tank. He was ripping through everyone, destroyed Michailidis, destroyed a short-nosed Brian Battle, and fucking ended Kevin Lee's career. And then in his last fight, he really got tested for his first time. He fought Zaleski, a very good veteran, and we just saw him fight, 3 weeks ago? And Zaleski brought to him. Zaleski definitely showed the holes in Rinat's game. His striking ain't the best. He has good power. Rinat has really good power. He doesn't have really good striking. His cardio is questionable. He's not really good at being the nail as he is at being the hammer, and he definitely has holes in his game still. He's still, like, I know the record. He is 32 years old. You would be a little shocked to see he has holes in his game, especially since he has had so many fights before getting into the UFC. So he's not a fucking, like, inexperienced dude. He's inexperienced when it comes to fighting good fighters. Cause, like, if you look at who he's beat, can you name any of these fucking guys? I can't. And they don't have good records either. Like, he's, like, I hate to fucking be one of those people, but he's Russian. On a regional scene, he's very good. You know he's getting stat padded. Like, we've seen a lot of stat padded fighters lately. His fucking pre-UFC run was very stat padded. Like, he did beat Eric Spicely in his last fight before the UFC, which he is a UFC veteran. Not a good one, but a UFC veteran nonetheless. So that's something. But when that's your most notable win, a guy who I've barely ever fucking heard of, it's not great. But then in UFC, he's beat some big names like Brian Battle, who's fucking amazing. Kevin Lee, who I know Kevin Lee's a joke, but he does have talent. He looked amazing in those fights. But Zaleski is just a fucking different breed, man. Zaleski's a fucking animal, and now he's fighting another good veteran in Dalby. Rinat's an interesting case. Dude has all the talent. Can he fucking show he's had a lot of time off? The Zaleski fight was November last year. He's had 7 months to get better. Has he got better? I think he probably has. But you never know, especially now he's fighting a wise veteran. So, again, I think Rinat's very talented. I think the dude's scary good. But he needs to show he's improved his weaknesses. His cardio, his striking ability. Some other things I'm blanking on from the Zaleski fight. A few people I've seen say he got bailed out in that fight. A lot of people say Zaleski won that fight. I don't agree. I don't remember how I scored that fight. It was a really weird fight. But Rinat definitely needs to show he fixed his weaknesses in this fight, because if he hasn't, he probably gets beat. Because he's fighting a very good veteran in the Danish Dynamite Nicolas Dalby, who is having the best fucking run of his career. 7-3-1-1 UFC, and like he's had a pretty nice UFC career up to this point. Like, some of his wins, Zaleski, very interesting. Alex Oliveira, Daniel Rodriguez, and then his last 4, which I'll get to that in a minute. His losses in UFC, Zach Cummings, a couple other people no one's ever heard of, and Tim Means. And then he had a draw with Darren Till when Darren Till was the shit, and he had a no contest with Ross Houston, whoever the fuck that is. So right off the bat in the UFC, he was beating Zaleski, which that's a great win. And then he had a draw with prime, young, hyped up Darren Till. Interesting. Then he had some ups and downs. A lot of ups and downs through, and no contest with Jesse Ronson, because I think he lost this fight, but Ronson popped. But then after the Tim Means fight, he comes back a year later in 2022, and he's a different animal. Beats Claudio Silva. Yeah, not a very good win, but a win. Beginning of 2023, he beats Warley Alves in a very close fight. Again, not a great win, but a win. Then he beat Muslim Salikov and dominated him in a pretty shocking fight, to be honest. I remember he was a pretty decently sized underdog. No one was really picking him, and he pretty much kind of crushed old man Salikov. So now he was putting his name back on the map. Yeah, not great wins, but wins. Then he smashes Gabriel Bonfim and fraud checks him. Okay, now we're talking. Dalby's having the best run of his career, which is insane to think at 39 years old. At welterweight, he's having the best run of his career. And I know this winning streak ain't great. Like, two of the fighters are trash. Salikov ain't the best anymore, and Gabriel Bonfim's a fraud. But still, like, for Nicolas Dalby at 40 years old, pretty much, to have the best run of his career, and he's not looking bad in these fights. Like, in the Claudio Silva fight, he looked dominant. In Claudio Silva, sure. Warley was probably the worst fight he had. They had a very close fight with Warley, which you should not be having a close fight with Warley Alves, but still. Muslim, he dominated, and then Bonfim, he pushed such a pace that he broke the kid. Like, Dalby is on a roll right now. He's riding high, 39 years old on a 4-fight winning streak, trying to knock off another young prospect and fraud check him. I don't be shocked if he does it. He's just fighting the best he ever has. Like a 4-fight winning streak, he's the best winning streak he's been on since fucking even before he was in the UFC, since he was undefeated. And he's not looking bad in these fights, so Dalby's a problem, man. Dalby's a fucking problem, and a win here would be fucking ginormous for him. Like, I already think he should be getting a ranked fight. I would have loved to see him fight Michael Chiesa when he was still ranked, or, like, even him and Kelvin would have been dope. But a win here, and you have to give him a ranking fight. Like, 5 wins in a row, beating Rinat Fakhretdinov, you gotta give him a ranking fight. But first he has to beat Rinat, which is much easier said than it is done, so let's see what happens, man. Don't count out Dalby. We have before, and he won, so he's a problem, man. Both these guys are a problem. They're both great. So I can't wait for this fight. This is a great fight. Like, how this is not on the main card, I don't know, because this fight's fucking amazing. So I can't wait. Do you bang on first fight, have Rinat at minus 290 to plus 235? I would definitely not have Rinat that big of a favorite. Fuck, I'm even close to saying this should be a pick'em. Like, I'm not gonna say it should be. I would have Rinat maybe minus 150, 160. Like, he's good. Rinat's scary good. But he needs to show a little more here. Coming off a very weird performance against Zaleski. We'll see how he looks here. And again, there's people counting out Dalby, man. People might not learn. I might not learn. I'm picking Rinat. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna pick Rinat. But, fuck, I'm gonna not be as confident as you think I would be. If you asked me this fight a year ago, I would say Rinat easily, like I did with Gabriel Bonfim. And look what happened. And yes, Rinat's 10 times better than the 4 guys on that winning streak of Dalby's. Yes, he's way better than Gabriel Bonfim. But Dalby's that guy. He's a veteran. He's not looking 39 years old at all, and he's good. Gonna be an interesting one, man. I can't wait. I'm gonna go Rinat Fakhretdinov by decision. This is definitely I don't know. I really don't know. If you tell me you're picking Dalby, I'm not gonna be like, oh no, that's crazy. No, that's a good pick. He might win. Fuck, especially if it goes later into the fight. You never know, man. He might break Rinat. Rinat might break him. Gonna be a banger. Can't wait. Give me Rinat Fakhretdinov by decision. I don't know. First time I'm picking Rinat, and I really don't know. Don't count out Dalby. Rinat by decision. But it's close. After that, we head to our co-main of the prelims, a fight that has changed during the weekend, has now been moved to the prelims. I'll talk about the change it had in a minute. Actually, I did bring it up a little bit in the intro, but I'll talk about it one more time. And then our fifth fight, fifth fight of the card, we head to featherweight for a intriguing fight between Muhammad Hillman Naimov versus Felipe de Oro Lima. So this fight has changed a few times for Naimov because he's had a couple opponent changes. He was first meant to fight. He's only had one opponent change. My bad. He was meant to fight Melsik Bagdasaryan, but he pulled out last week, I think on Monday. And Felipe Lima stepped in, so yeah. And now it got moved down to the prelims because I don't know why his fight was on the main card anyway. Lima stepping in, a bantamweight. I'll get into him in a minute. But that's the backstory. This was meant to be Melsik Bagdasaryan. Now we have Felipe Lima. See what happens. Definitely, I would say a downgrade. But God, Bagdasaryan is so unlucky, man. Dude's good, but fuck. But enough about that. Let's talk about Naimov real quick, because I've broken down a lot of his fights at this point. Naimov is 3-0 in UFC. Quotation marks on 3-0. In his debut, he knocked out Jamie Malarkey. Who hasn't. Then he beat Nathaniel Wood. I'll talk about that in a second. And then he beat Eric Silva. Not saying much there. Of course, the win that sticks out is Nathaniel Wood, even though that was one of the worst ref fights of all time. He low blowed Wood like 4 times. He fucking eye poked him. Like, how the fuck did he not get DQ'd in that fight? So Nathaniel Wood got fucked over. But really, he's 2-1 in the UFC, and his 2 wins that actually count are Jamie Malarkey, who has no chin, and Eric Silva, who sucks. So I'm not impressed with Naimov, man. He's not good. He's not proved. He's not shown that he's good. Then yes, he beat Nathaniel Wood. Quotation marks on beat, because all he did was fucking foul him. All he did was fucking foul Nathaniel Wood for 15 minutes, and the ref just fucking closed his eyes and let it fucking happen. So, no, fucking Naimov, he's not that good. I can't wait to see him finally lose, because he fucking deserves it for that bullshit against Nathaniel Wood. So, fuck him. To talk about his opponent, Felipe Lima, making his UFC debut here on short notice. Felipe was actually meant to fight next couple weeks. So, but he was the Octagon champion, I believe. Some bullshit. Yep, he was the Octagon champion. Whatever. That's a smaller promotion. Pretty well known, but definitely smaller. And he was meant to fight. He was meant to be on road to UFC. Interesting. He was meant to fight in about a month. So he was already kind of in training camp. He was gonna rematch this dude. Okay. So he's kind of already been in training camp. He is a bantamweight, fighting at featherweight here. Another interesting thing with him outside of him, so he's not coming in off the couch. He was meant to fight someone else in a month, so he's already in training camp. And another interesting thing, he is from the All Stars gym, which is the Hamzat Chimaev, Josephine Kunatson gym. So he's training with some good people. Anyone else? Gustafsson, Alir Latifi, Guram Kutasaladze. So yeah, that's right. And they are riding high after Kunatson's win last week. Yes, I use quotation marks. That was still a robbery. So yeah, let's see what this kid can do. I've never seen him fight before, but he might be good. 12-1, 26 years old. The betting odds are light. He's not a giant underdog. Let's see what this kid can do. Yeah, on short notice, up a weight class. Definitely had a size disadvantage. 3 inches shorter. I'm guessing the reach. He's probably. I wonder if they actually have his reach on here. No. So we'll see, man. Either way, I'm in. Like, no matter what, if he loses, I'm gonna just want to see him on a full camp. If he looks good in this fight and loses, then there's gonna be a lot of things to say. And if he wins, oh man, this kid could be really good. Not very much else to say. So let's get into the betting odds, which are pretty much a pick'em, which says a lot. You never really see someone step in on short notice and like be the favorite, or or not be a giant underdog. The last one I could think of was maybe Orlabai versus Euros Medic. I think he was the favorite, or at least like a small underdog, I believe. I wonder if I actually can fact check that, 'cause that's the last one I could remember. Is it not how you spell that? I guess I'm fucking stupid and I can't spell. I swear that's how you spell his fucking name. But, yeah, I'm pretty sure Oralby was the last... That's not how never mind, I fucked it up a little bit. But, yeah. Oralby stepped in a short notice and was the favorite, so that's the last one I could remember, and it's that rare. So, if you're coming in a short notice and you're not a giant underdog and even the favorite, people know you're good, and that actually gives a lot of interesting, notes about this fight. So I'm very intrigued to see this Lima kid. Very, very possible that this kid's legit, and especially either way, win or lose, he's gonna go back down to bantamweight, and they might just got themselves a fucking gem in the rough. Who knows? So I'm excited. I'm interested to see this Lima kid from the Hamzat gym. Trains with a lot of big names. Let's see what happens. My pick here, fuck Muhammad Naimov, so give me Felipe Lima. See if this kid's legit. Simple as that. Give me Lima by decision. I don't think he's gonna win. I think the best case scenario is he looks good and loses, but we're gonna see. We're gonna fucking find out. So, give me Felipe Lima by decision. Should be a good fight. Should be a very intriguing fight. And for our featured prelim, we head to lightweight for a very mid fight. Like, this fight, it's a fight. It's one of the fights ever. Definitely not a fight I'm looking forward to. For our featured prelim, we have Nasrat Haqparast versus Jared Flash Gordon. Do I really have to say much about this fight? Two veterans, two guys we've all seen fight before. We know what we're getting with both. Let's just do a quick breakdown of this, because there's not really much to say. Very whatever fight. We'll start with Nasrat Haqparast, who is 8-4 in UFC. Some of his wins are Mark Diakese, João Quinsilva, Alex Munoz, Rafa Garcia, John Makdessi, Landon Quinones, Jamie Malarkey. And then his losses are Marcin Heald, Drew Dober, Dan Hooker, Bobby Green. That's it. He's good. Like, Nasrat, when he's fighting at his best, which he has been lately, he's been looking really good. His striking is good, cardio is good. He's like a very solid average fighter. He can beat all these pretty weak fighters like fucking Makdessi, Malarkey, Garcia, but he's never gonna be able to beat a Drew Dober or a Bobby Green. So, but yeah, Nasrat is good, man. Nasrat is a very solid fighter. Yeah, I can't really say much. He's well-rounded. He's good on the feet, got some decent power in his hands at times. Ground game, never been a specialty of his, but it's never been a weakness either. I can't really remember him ever getting, like, wrestled badly. Maybe Dan Hooker wrestled him, if I remember correctly. Maybe. I believe he might have, but that's the last time I can remember him actually getting wrestle-fucked. Yeah, he's always been a very decent fighter. He's never going to be bad enough to get cut, never going to be good enough to win a belt. He's average. He's like the most average fighter in the world, in my opinion. Especially at lightweight, he's very average. So, you know what you're getting with Nasrat. To talk about his opponent, Paddy Pimblett's daddy, Jared Gordon. Jared in UFC is 9-4 and 1. Some of his wins are he beat Bill Algeo before UFC, fine. Some of his wins are Chris Fishgold, Danny Chavez, Joe Selecki, Leonardo Santos, Paddy Pimblett, Mark Madsen. His losses are Diego Ferreira, João Quinsilva, Charles Oliveira, Grant Dawson, and he had a no contest with Bobby Green. Gordon's a fine fighter, never been a world beater. Like, we all know him for beating Paddy Pimblett, and that's about it. Like, he is coming off a knockout win against Mark Madsen, but Mark Madsen sucks. So, yeah, he's not very good. He's not bad. He's not a bad fighter, but I've never looked at him as a stellar fighter. That's what makes him beating Paddy Pimblett even funnier, that he is not very good. And he is 35 years old now. He's fine. We know what he's gonna try and do. He would like to get takedowns. He would like to get takedowns and fucking wrestle Nasrat. I don't think he's gonna be able to do that really. I think he's going to probably I don't know. I don't think he's gonna really wrestle Nasrat and succeed. So we'll see. Again, not a very. Maybe I'm getting mixed up with something. I swear he likes to wrestle. Either way, if he wants to strike, he's gonna get outstruck. Cause fucking Nasrat's a better striker than him. So, but yeah, there's just not really much to say about this fight or Jared Gordon in general. So it's just a whatever fight. It's like it's a very predictable fight. So not really much to say. Excuse me. The betting odds have Nasrat Haqparast at minus 225 to plus 185. Harder to disagree. Nasrat could be minus 250 even. He should win this. Just keep it standing. He's the better striker. He's taller with a longer reach. He should win this fight pretty easily. This should just be like most of his wins. Just he beats him over 25 minutes. I really don't see this being a hard fight for Nasrat. I think he's the better fighter, and when Nasrat's the better fighter, he's going to probably just easily win. So I'm gonna go Nasrat Haqparast by decision. Could Gordon clip him? Probably, but I doubt it. Could Gordon wrestle him and win? Probably, but I doubt it. But I think Nasrat's going to piece him up for 15 minutes and win. Maybe even get a finish. I doubt it. That's really never been his bag. Yeah, he knocked out Jay Malarkey, but who hasn't? So yeah, give me Nasrat Haqparast by decision. Probably not gonna be a fun fight. Maybe it could be fun. Maybe not. I'm not a fight I'm looking forward to. I think it's probably gonna be pretty whatever. So give me Nasrat Haqparast by decision. Not very fun. Not a hard fight to predict. One guy's better. He's 8 years younger, and he's gonna win. So Nasrat by decision. So those are the prelims. Not bad. Rinat's definitely the star of the show. This Lima kid's interesting, and this could be fun. Gafurov and Nasrat are not fights I'm looking forward to, but whatever. It's a fine prelims. Rinat should be higher. Bare minimum, Rinat should be the featured prelim, but UFC is fucking stupid. So whatever. Fine prelims to lead into a very, very, very good main card. I think this is on ABC or whatever, so you know they had to stack it. They're on ABC and they're going to Saudi Arabia for the first time. You know this card was gonna get stacked. So let's break down the stacked main card as we begin in the light heavyweight division with a fucking banger. KO promised. As we head to light heavyweight for a battle of KO artists between Johnny Walker versus Volkan Oezdemir. Yeah, do I really need to tell you this fight's great? I think you already know this fight's great. Fun. I get why this is a main card opener. I get it. Of course, it should be higher on the card, but you need to start the main card with a banger, and you can't get much better than this. So I'm not even gonna break this fight down much. Like, what can I say that you don't already know? Do I really need to break down Johnny Walker? No, I will real quick. 7-5 in the UFC. We know what we're getting with Johnny Walker by now. Kill or be killed. Most of the time he's getting killed, but when he fucking, you never count out Johnny Walker. He's either gonna knock you out or get knocked the fuck out. Like, he's only lost in the UFC twice by anything that was not a knockout. Who the fuck? Krylov and Thiago Santos. Yeah, I was like, who the fuck beat him by decision? Yeah, so we know we're getting with Johnny Walker. I can't really say much else than that. He's either getting knocked out, which is more likely what happens, or he's gonna knock you out. So yeah, dude, with all the potential in the world, just no chin and no fight IQ. To talk about Volkan Oezdemir, another veteran of the game, another veteran when it comes to knocking people out dead. In the UFC, he is 7-6. Some of his wins are his most notable wins: OSP, Misha Serkinov, Jimmy Manawa, Alir Latifi, Alexander Ratchik, Paul Craig, and Bogdan Gluchkov. And then his losses are DC in a title fight. Yes, he got a title shot. I don't know how. Anthony Smith, Dominic Reyes, Yuri Prohashka, Magomed Ankalaev, and Nikita Krylov. Yeah, he's had an up and down career. He's beat some pretty good fighters like OSP, Ratchik, Craig. Well, no, I said good fighters. We all know who Paul Craig is. He's a terrible fighter. But Radchik, Gushkov wins aging like fine wine. And every time he fights someone better than him, he loses. Cormier, well, man, you really lost to Anthony Smith. Ew. Reyes, Yuri, Ank, Krylov, etc. So, we know what we're getting with Oezdemir. He's either knocking you out or probably getting knocked out. He's not got finished lately. Been decisioned in the last 2 times out. So he's a little bit, well, he's a lot smarter of a fighter than Walker, but he is starting to lose a step a little bit. He definitely has kind of turned back on the craziness. Like, he's still a pretty crazy fighter. We'll look at a Gushkov fight, but he is definitely fighting a little smarter at times. So, and as he gets older, at 34 years old, and especially in a fight like this, he wants to fight smart. So, yeah, not really much else to say. The Bangons first fight were pretty much a pick'em. I agree. It's a Johnny Walker fight. You don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. He's gonna get knocked out in some stupid fucking fashion, or he's gonna get a crazy knockout. Volkan Oezdemir hits like a fucking truck, could clip Johnny. You don't know what's gonna happen. The only thing you can make a fucking bet on is someone's getting knocked the fuck out. In the first 2 rounds, someone's going out dead. Who's it gonna be? I don't fucking know. It's gonna be somebody though. So, yeah, I'm excited for this fight. I'm always excited to see Johnny Walker on the card. I think everyone's a fan of Johnny Walker. Like, yeah, he doesn't always win, but he always has a fun fight. He always has a highlight, so, and he's back in the desert. That's the scariest part. So, yeah, I'm excited. I cannot wait for this fight. So, yeah. Who am I going with? I always pick Johnny Walker. How can you not pick Johnny Walker? Do I have any faith in him winning? No. I say flip a coin and pray, which you'll hear me say that again later during this breakdown. You don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. It's Johnny Walker and Volkan Oezdemir. Whose chin is getting knocked out first? And these are guys, I brought up Johnny's chin being garbage. Volkan never been known for a great chin either, so we'll see who gets knocked the fuck out first. I'm gonna say Johnny Walker by knockout in the first, but either way, we're gonna get a highlight here, and I can't wait, so. Give me Walker by knockout in the first, but you never know what's going to happen. Simple as that. After that, we head to our second fight of the night. Fight that has changed a couple times. It's about time it looks like this guy has a very... he actually has a fight. It's not going to change again. As in our second fight of the night, we head to middleweight. I believe it's still at middleweight. Yes, it is. For a short notice fight between Shara Bullet Magomedov versus Antonio Malvado Trócoli. So, this fight came about because Shara Bullet lost 2 opponents. He was meant to fight Ihor Potieria at first. Ihor had to pull out because he took that Michelle Pereira beating. Then he was meant to fight Jyotan Letterbach, but he popped for roids during, yesterday. And now he's fighting Antonio, who was smart and stayed ready, so he didn't have to get ready. Because if we all know, I talked about this last week, and I think we all know it, Antonio was meant to fight Ikram Aliskerov last week in the co-main, so I guess he stayed ready, and now he's flying to Saudi Arabia to not fight Ikram, to fight Shara. So, very interesting. Very, very interesting. So, see what happens. Not gonna say much. I think we all know how this fight's gonna go, but I'll talk about it real quick anyway. And let's first talk about the hyped up prospect himself, Shara Butin or some shit. Yeah, Shara Butin Magomedov. Shara in the UFC is 1-0. In his UFC debut, he did beat Bruno Silva in a very not a great performance. He looked fine and he did win, but a lot of problems in the game got shown. His ground game, not good. Not good, and that was against Bruno Silva, who's not a ground fighter. So the ground game got exposed against a shit grappler. So yeah, his cardio, he has good striking. We all know his striking's great. That's what he's known for. That's why he has 10 KOs. But it's that fucking ground game is definitely his weakness, and it's gonna be a big problem for him. And when he does fight someone good who can grapple, I still say GM3 is the perfect test for him. Because that's a guy who's going to test his ground game, and it's a very beatable fighter, but it's going to be a very hard fight for Shara. So, I don't know. Shara's. I'm not seeing the hype yet. I've not seen the hype yet. He looked fine against Bruno Silva, and again, Bruno Silva's a tough ass debut. Like that's a goddamn hard debut, and he passed. He passed it. Not greatly, but he did pass the test. And now he's fucking getting a. Now he's having the debut, a fight he should have had in his debut. A very easy fight, a showcase fight. This is all this is. This is just a showcase fight for Shara. So this is gonna be the fight where he shows us how good he really is. If he loses here, it's over. It's fucking over for this dude. He sucks. But if he wins here as he should, he gets a finish as he should, then a lot of interesting things are going to happen with this guy. I'm very intrigued. So I think this dude has potential. He's not just hyped up for a reason. But how good is he really? So let's see what happens, man. And this fight ain't gonna really show much. Like either he wins and he beats the can, or he loses and he's a joke. So you better win. You better win, because you are fighting Antonio Trócoli, who is stepping in on short notice. He was meant to fight a week ago. Now he's fighting here, which good for him. I'm like, as much of a joke as I think this guy is, because he can't ever make it to his fucking debut, I am happy he did kind of, like, I felt bad for him last week that he got fucked out of his debut, which he was finally going to have. But now he is going to have his debut just a week later, so good for him. Like, so this is his debut. He did fight on a Contender Series all the way back in 2019. He had one more fight after that, and then he got signed. Why did this get overturned? Oh. Good job, dickhead. Yeah, he fucking... Jesus. So he's had 3 debuts canceled. OSP, Omer Sai, and Ikram Aliskerov, but now he fights here. I don't know much about this dude. I know I think he dates Mackenzie Dern or some bullshit, and I heard that from somewhere. Twitter. How true is that? I don't know. I don't care. He can't be as bad as she is, so... Yeah, yeah, this dude's pretty much just cannon fodder, but can he pull off one of the funniest upsets of all time? I hope. Because I think people, like, I didn't talk about it, but, like, we all know Shara's a dick. Like, he beats people up in the streets. Like, you're a dick. So, it doesn't be one of the funniest fraud checkings and upsets of all time. It's not gonna happen. I can already tell you, it's not gonna fucking happen. But it would be funny, and that's all that matters, so. Yeah, good luck, Antonio. You're gonna need it. Step down from Ikram, at least. But, not much. Well, maybe. I don't know. We'll see how good Shara is. The betting on this fight, they're not on Tapology. I did look at them earlier. I think Shara's up to like minus 600. Yeah, he should be minus 700. He's my lock of the night, obviously. He's gonna win. He's gonna probably run through Antonio pretty easily. And, big height advantage for Antonio. This fight can moved up. No, it's still at middleweight, so Antonio's gonna make that fucking weight cut. Interesting. Yeah, this is just a showcase fight for Shara. If he loses this, he's a fucking joke, but I don't think he's gonna have to worry about that. I don't see him losing to Antonio Trócoli, so a guy who's not fought in 3 years. So yeah, give me Shara Bullet Magomedov by knockout in the first. Should be a really easy night for him. This should be his coming out party. Let's see him get a highlight. Let's see him get a knockout. Let's see what this guy can really do. Let's see it. Give me Shara Bullet, my lock of the night, by knockout in the first. Nothing else to say. This would be one of the funniest upsets of all time. So yeah, that's it. After that, we had to our featured bout of the main card. We had to welterweight for the fight that is not better than Rinat and Dalby, but UFC is gonna put these guys on the main card for no reason. And in our third fight of the main card, we had to welterweight for a washed battle between Kelvin Gastelum versus D-Rod Daniel Rodriguez. Yeah, this fight's just too washed. Dudes fighting, one of them's gonna win, the other's gonna get cut. Simple as that. Did I say it's at welterweight? No, this is at middleweight, because KG is a fat fuck who can't even make 180. So, Gastelum's a fucking joke, but whatever. Let's talk about KG real quick. We all know Kelvin Gastelum by now. 12-9 in the UFC, 12-9-1. Yeah, his middleweight. Well, he started at welterweight. He went what? I think he went what? 5-2, 6-2, 7-2. So 7-2. Because I believe Tim Kennedy was his first middleweight bout. Yeah. Or did he fight Hendricks at? No, Hendricks was his last fucking welterweight fight of his first run. So he went 7-2 at welterweight. Not bad. He barely made weight ever, but you know that happens. And then he went to middleweight. We all know what happened. He had a nice run. He fought Israel Adesanya in the fight of the year. Then he went on a losing streak. He beat Ian Heinisch, which no one's gonna ever remember. But yeah, he lost more than he won after Izzy. He beat Chris Curtis, and then he decided to go back down to welterweight. In his first welterweight fight in years, he fought Sean Brady and looked fucking pathetic. Truly fucking pathetic. And now he's, I guess, going back up to middleweight because he can't even fucking make welterweight, so... Yeah, KG's a joke. Like, he is MMA's Andy Ruiz. If you know, you know. If that's bad, for people who do know, if that's a bad comparison, tell me. I think that's accurate. But he didn't even win the fucking belt, though. Ruiz at least won the belt. KG's just got a fight of the year. So... KG has talent. Not a lot. He can strike. He's not a terrible fighter. He has a ground game. He's tougher than nails. That's why he's never been KO'd. But he's just lazy. He's fucking lazy. You can't lay off the fucking food for training camp, you fat fuck. Like, jeez, you might as well be a fucking fucking heavyweight. Cause that's the problem with heavyweights. Tai Tuivasa, Alexander Romanov. Now you, fucking Jared Cannonier moved down from heavyweight. Anyone can fucking lose weight and move down weight classes if they fucking try. And Kelvin Gastelum has not tried. And that's what makes all this bullshit more annoying. If he loses this and gets cut, he fucking deserves it. To talk about his opponent, Daniel Rodriguez, who is man enough to say yes to this fucking 15-pound weight change, when he's probably gonna make welterweight, so he just gets to eat the next fucking 24 hours. So he's probably happy as fuck. So good for him. In the UFC, D-Rod is 7-3. His wins are Tim Means, Gabe Green, Dwight Grant, Mike Perry, Preston Parsons, Kevin Lee, and Li Jingliang. His 3 losses are Nicolas Dalby, Neil Magny, and Ian Gary. Yeah, you can't... His losses, goddamn. Could you have 3 better losses? And his wins are... He had some nice wins. Fucking Tim Means out of the debut is insane. Mike Perry, Kevin Lee, the Leech. Even though no one actually thinks he won that fight, so... Yeah. D-Rod was on a nice fucking run. Like, D-Rod was on a really nice run in this area. Outside the Dalby loss, he was really on a nice run. But then the 279 bullshit happened. He fought the Leech and most likely lost, but they gifted him the fight. Then Neil Magny beat him up. Ian Gary knocked him out in 3 minutes. So shit's really falling down for D-Rod now. He's now 37 years old, not fought in over a year. And it's probably over for him. He had his run, but he's 37 years old. He's like, he doesn't seem like he cares. Like, he's always posting shit about like smoking weed and all that shit. I feel like he just does not care anymore. I feel like he knows he's not gonna go very far. At 37 years old, he's slowing down. He's like, his striking's still good, but his ground game's always been shitty. His gas tank's not good, and like, he's probably on a 3-fight losing streak. And most people would say a loss here, and he's probably getting cut. He needs to put everything he has into this fight, because he's getting cut after this, I would think. So, and Kelvin Gastelum's not a hard guy to beat. He's fucking lazy. So, D-Rod could win this fight. I don't think he will, though. Especially with this weight change. He should have made Kelvin try and fucking... He should have let Kelvin miss the weight, and then took a fucking nice paycheck. At least he would have got his fucking 30% of his purse or whatever, so, yeah. I think D-Rod was too nice with that, but whatever. We know what we're getting with D-Rod. He's just a straight-up boxer, and he's good at it. He's a good boxer, but I think Kelvin's a more well-rounded fighter in 2 ways, and he's younger by a couple years, and I think D-Rod's just kind of done, to be honest. The betting odds have Kelvin Gastelum at minus 240 to plus 190. No, I would have Gastelum. Kelvin should never be minus 200. I'd have KG maybe minus 180. Yeah, I'd probably say minus 180. KG should win this fight. But if I'm saying that, it makes me doubt he wins even more, because he should have beat Sean Brady. He should have beat Jack Hermanson. He fucking... There's a lot of should-haves in his career, and so... this is a battle of two washed fighters, and the loser is going to be in PFL, I would think. Who wants it more? I think that's the simplest way to break down this fight. Who wants it more? I think the guy who wants it more is Kelvin Gastelum. I think he's the better fighter in 2024. I think he's the hungrier fighter in two ways in 2024. And I think he is the better fighter. So, I think I said that twice. But I think he's the more skilled fighter. So, I'm going to go Kelvin Gastelum by decision. I think he's going to win this fight. I think he's better than D-Rod. I think I know he's younger. Yeah, he's at a height disadvantage. A big one at that, reach disadvantage. If he has to, he'll probably get on the inside and shoot takedowns, because he is probably better on the ground. But most likely he'll be able to just strike with D-Rod. He might even knock him out, I wouldn't be shocked. But I'm going to go Kelvin Gastelum by decision. Not a fight I'm looking forward to, because I don't care. I don't really respect Kelvin Gastelum anymore, and I really don't think D-Rod has it anymore, so I really don't care. But I'm going to go Kelvin Gastelum by probably decision. So, yeah. Just not... why is this above Rinat and Dalby? Shaking my head. Now we go into the co-main event of the evening. A battle of Russians. Tall, scary-ass Russians. As we have in our co-main event in the heavyweight division. A banger between Sergei Pavlovich versus Alexander Drago Volkov. What a fucking banger. This is such a good fight. I can't wait. This is, I said knockout was promised with Johnny and Volkan. A knockout is promised in this fight, I feel. So, let's see who gets that KO shot. I'm excited. I don't gotta talk about these guys much. We both know, everyone knows these guys. So, but I'll talk about it a little bit. So let's talk about Sergei Pavlovich. Sergei in the UFC is 6-2. His wins are Marcel Gloom, Marcus Green, Shamil Abdurrahimov, Derek Lewis, Tai Tuivasa, and Curtis Blades. His two losses are Alistair Overeem and Tom Aspinall. We know we're getting with Pavlovich, a dude who hits like a fucking building. He's pretty quick, athletic for his size, and looks like he's in even better shape somehow, if that's fucking possible. So, yeah, Pavlovich is ready, man. Pavlovich coming off that Aspinall loss, I think he's somehow scarier, and dude's out here doing flying knees and fucking open workouts. This dude's a fucking issue, and that loss might have just made him angrier and scarier. And if that's even possible, yeah, Volkov's gonna fucking die. So, Pavlovich back for the first time since Tom Aspinall. Let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. Talk about his opponent, Alexander Volkov, a veteran of the game. We all know Volkov by now. In UFC, he's 11-4. His wins are Tim Johnson, Roy Nelson, Stefan Struve, Fabricio Verdun, Greg Hardy, Walt Harris, Alistair Overeem, Marcin Tybura, Jairzinho Rosenstrike, Alexander Romanov, and Tai Tuivasa. He's only lost to 4 people in the UFC. Derek Lewis, Curtis Blades, Sorogan, and Tom Aspinall. Not a bad, Derek and Aspinall you can't complain about. Derek Lewis is Derek Lewis. Yeah, Volkov, 3-fight winning streak, looking scarier than ever. 35 years old, that don't mean shit at heavyweight. Tall as shit at 6'7". This dude's good. Volkov is pretty good. He fucking has a lot of power in his hand, good teep kick, good ground game. He's good. He's stuck around a division for so long for a reason. He's very good. And this is his first hard fight in a while since Aspinall, because Jairzinho, Romanov, and Tyre are not hard fights. Let's be honest, they're not very difficult opponents. Pavlovich is, so see what happens here with we'll really see what happens here with Volkov. Someone's going down. Someone's gonna go down. One big body sitting in that fucking canvas. We'll see who it is, man. We know we're getting with both guys. Both guys very good strikers. Both guys very hard hitters. Volkov does have a ground game. I doubt he's gonna use it. Volkov has really good kicks, something I don't remember Pavlovich being a pro at. We know Volkov's gonna throw that teep kick right into the fucking body. These two have trained in the past, so they do know each other pretty well. So we'll see what happens here. I'm excited for this fight. This is a beautiful co-main event. Violence is guaranteed. KO is guaranteed. I can't wait. Who do I think's gonna win? Well, actually, the betting odds. Pavlovich minus 210. Hard to disagree. I'd have Pavlovich probably minus 200 on a dot. You can even go down to minus 195, 190. I wouldn't hate. Pavlovich should win this fight. I think he's younger by a couple years. 3 years younger. I think he's hungrier for a win. Coming off the Aspinall loss, I think he's like, the height ain't that bad. 6'3", 6'7". He has a longer reach, so he's not that big of a disadvantage at like most people are against Volkov. So this is a good fight. This is a very good fight. Either guy can get clipped at any moment. We'll see how Pavlovich really responds after the Aspinall loss. Let's see how his chin is. We'll see how he is mentally. Physically, he couldn't look any fucking better. So mentally, we'll see how he bounces back. Volkov, a veteran. We all know what we're getting with him. Gonna be a good fight. Very good fight. I'm going with Sergei Pavlovich. I think he's gonna catch the chin of Volkov early and send him out cold. But we will see. We will see. So, my pick is Sergei Pavlovich by knockout in the first. You never know what's going to happen at heavyweight with two dudes. These guys' power levels. This could be a win here for Volkov would be insane. 35 years old, right back in title contention. I don't think he's ever fought for the belt, which is kind of insane because he's rarely ever lost. So it's actually interesting that he's never really fought for the belt. Like, the closest he's got was probably if he beat Derek Lewis. Because I think he's like high ranked at that time. So, yeah, a win here for Volkov would boost him right into title contention. So, yeah, big fight. We'll see who gets the W. I'm going to Sergei Pavlovich by knockout in the first. Someone's going down. Can't wait. And now, time for the main event of the evening. On short notice, the main event changes with a week notice. But it doesn't matter because it's a great main event. Nonetheless, it's probably better. As we have in the middleweight division, Robert the Reaper Whittaker versus Ikram Aliskerov. What a main event to end the night in Saudi Arabia. We are in for a fucking treat. A lot of questions answered on both sides. What the fuck is gonna happen here? I don't fucking know. I don't need to break down Robert Whittaker. We all know Robert Whittaker. Most of us love Robert Whittaker. A legend of the sport. Former champion, this, that, and the other thing. Got back on track in his last fight, beating Paulo Costa. He's still got some juice left in the tank at 33 years old. He's still here. If you talk about his opponent, Ikram Aliskerov, definitely the lesser known of the two, but I think a lot of people still know him nonetheless. Ikram in the UFC is 2-0. His two coming out of Contender Series. His 2 wins are Phil Hawes and Warley Alves. Yeah, pretty garbage wins because they are 2 cans, but every time he's been booked to fight a real contender, they got cancelled. Paulo, Naimov, Muniz, Fluffy, and only one of them's been his fault. So, and he probably would have won at least 3 of these fights. He would have beat Paulo, he would have beat Naimov, and he would have beat Muniz. So Fluffy's hard to fight there because Fluffy's a fucking animal. So, yeah, Aliskerov's scary good. Like, his only loss in his career is to Hamzat. where he got knocked the fuck out. But if you watch that fight, he actually put up a pretty good fight. He was stuffing Hamzat's takedowns. He's good. Ikram's scary good. But now we see him in the big leagues with the big spotlight on him, fucking in front of the crowd, and a main event against Robert Whittaker, finally getting to show how good he is. Stepping in for Hamzat, which he probably finds that bittersweet, especially if he can win this fight. He boosts himself in the top 5 way before anyone thought he would be. We really get to see how good he is in this fight, and I'm excited. I think Ikram's scary good. I don't know if he's ready for this yet. But I don't know. Maybe he is. I think he has all the talent. But is he mentally ready? Is he physically ready? Like, he's still young. He's only 31. So even a loss here wouldn't be the death of him. But I don't know if I love this being his first fight in the top 15. Paulo was a good fight. He would have won. Fucking Imavov. Even someone like fucking Roman Dolidze would have been perfect. So, but Robert Whittaker on a week notice, no less. The only thing I think saving that claim is he was going to fight last week in the co-main against Antonio. So he was already training. He didn't come off the couch and blah blah blah. So this is gonna be interesting. How does his gas tank look? How does his striking look against a good striker? How does he look against a good fighter in general? Like, I think his cardio is the biggest question. I think, can he get the takedowns on Rob? Can he strike with Rob? A lot of unanswered questions we're gonna find out Saturday night. I think win or lose, Ikram is a beast. Unless he gets completely dismantled, which he's not going to. I think this is a very interesting fight. I'm very excited for this fight. I'm very fucking intrigued to see what happens here. Is Ikram the real deal? Is Whittaker fucking putting the prospect back in his place? I don't know. And I can't wait. The betting odds for this fight have Whittaker minus 145 to plus 120. I say pick him. I say complete pick him because it's hard to really grade Ikram or put Ikram in betting odd because we don't know how good he is. We've never seen him fight anyone good outside of Hamzat, where he did pretty good. He lost, but he did pretty good. So we don't know. I say pick him. I think, like, if this was Whittaker 5 years ago, I think, oh my god, the fight would be even better. But this is Robert Whittaker coming off a win, still looking good. The veteran of the division, or a veteran in the division. I don't know what way to look at this fight. Like, if it's striking, I think Whittaker wins, but Ikram probably has the power advantage. Probably the speed advantage. And on the ground, it's Ikram all day. Like, I think the most interesting part of this fight is if it goes deep. If it goes into round 3, how does Ikram look? If it goes into round 4, how does Ikram look? We know Whittaker's going to be there. Whittaker can go for 5 rounds. Can Ikram, if it gets that far? Because round 1 will be scary for Whittaker. Round 2 will be pretty scary for Whittaker. But when we hit that like midway point of round 2, how is Ikram breathing? How is he doing in the fight? If we hit round 3, same question. So this whole fight, the main idea with this fight is how good is Ikram Aliskerov. I think he's really good. I think Ikram is scary good. I think he will be a top 15 dude one day. Maybe even after Saturday night he will be. And we all know Whittaker, the top 5 guy, and I didn't show his record. Whittaker's only lost 5 times in UFC. Those losses are to, well, at welterweight, do you really want to count that? He's only lost 3 times at middleweight. To Izzy in a fight he probably won, and Drakus. So, just FYI on that. And Ikram, but Ikram's only lost to Hamzat, so they both have only lost to really good fighters. So, fuck, man. Who am I picking? Ikram's really good. Ikram is really good. I don't think it's time yet. I'm going Robert Whittaker. As of right now, I'm leaning Robert Whittaker. I think he's ready to prove a point that he is still here. because that Costa fight was not a great performance. He still won. It was a good fine fight, but it was not great. I think Whittaker's going to prove a point. I think he's going to want to show that he's not a fucking stepping stone. I think he would have beat Hamzat, so. But Ikram is, fuck, at this point, probably better than Hamzat. But that's not saying much. I'm going to Robert Whittaker. I think he gets to win here. I think he beats Ikram. And I'm going to go Robert Whittaker by decision. I don't think he finishes Ikram. If he does, I think it's just because Ikram got so tired. I could see a 48-47 Whittaker. I wouldn't be shocked about that. He'll probably drop round 1. He might drop round 2. But then we're going to get interesting. So, I'm excited. And I'm going to go with Robert the Reaper Whittaker by decision in the main event of UFC Saudi Arabia. Am I confident? No. I say flip a coin and pray. And I think my coin is landing on the Reaper. So give me Robert Whittaker by decision. Boom. Those are my picks. Go over them one more time. No pick for the Xiao fight. Magomed Gadzhiyasulov, I said that wrong, by knockout in the second. Muin Gafurov by decision. Rinat Fakhretdinov by decision. Felipe Lima by decision. Nasrat Haqparast by decision. Johnny Walker by knockout in the first. Shara and Magomedov by knockout in the first, my lock of the night. Kelvin Gastelum by decision, Sergei Pavlovich by knockout in the first, and Robert the Reaper Whittaker by decision. Bang. There's the card. 11 fights, 10 I broke down. And it's a great fight. It's a great fight night. To have Johnny Walker, Shara, Bullet, Pavlovich, Volkov, Whittaker, Rinat, Dalby, fucking all on the same card. That's an insane fight night. Saudi Arabia got a treat, and I think they're gonna enjoy this really fun card. We're gonna see what the fuck happens, man. So I'm excited. I know you're probably excited because how could you not be when you see this fucking Walker, Whittaker, Pavlovich, blah blah blah. It's gonna be a fun night. I'm not confident in many of my picks. A lot of them are coin flips, and we're gonna have to just wait and see what happens. So I'm excited, and you'll hear me recap this card Sunday, hopefully 1 p.m. EST. We'll fucking find out. The card is very early, so it's a very good possibility I will be recapping it. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But enough rambling. An hour and 22 minutes of rambling. I don't need to ramble anymore. So unless I'm forgetting to say something, which I don't think I am, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe. 100 subs goal by the end of the year. And as always, RX out. Good vibes only and always.